Hey everyone, this is Giovany back here at Flick Reviews. So today we're actually not reviewing a movie, and instead we're going to talk about the main horror icons. Since it is Friday the 13th, we're going to be focusing on 13 of them, again, since it is Friday the 13th. And at the end of the video, we are going to talk about our top three within that list. So my cousin Jacob is joining me, and he is going to talk about his top three. The way we're going to make the list on this is based on how they were important to the genre of horror, how scary they are, the cool factor, and mainly it's going to be based on, do you really want to get stuck with this character, with this horror villain? Do you think you would actually be able to escape this killer? Or you think that there's absolutely no way in hell, no pun intended, that you would actually be able to escape this particular killer? Alright, so within this video I'm also going to do another giveaway. This time I'm going to give away a Funko Pop Chucky. It's appropriate for the theme that we're doing for this video. So again, you must be a subscriber to my channel. Go into the comment sections, type subscribed if you're a new subscriber. If you are already a subscriber, then just put have been subscribed, or something like that. And then I haven't decided if it's going to be within the next 48 hours or the next 72 hours that I'm going to look through the comments and see who has commented. And from there, I'm going to see if you are actually subscribed to my channel. And then I'll randomly pick those people who are eligible for this. And then I'll let you know. And then I'll mail you this Funko Pop bobblehead of Chucky. And again, just like the last giveaway, you have to be within the US. At the moment, I'm not going to be sending anything overseas. That's something that's for now. I mean, it could change later on. But as of right now, you have to be within the US. So I'm going to do that for the Justice League movie review that I'm doing, and the Last Jedi movie review. So I'll be doing some giveaways for that too. And I might do some other ones, throughout the rest of the year if I end up deciding that I want to do some more giveaways besides those two. But so keep an eye out on that and be a subscriber. And so with that being said, we're gonna move on and start with the main 13 horror icon villains, and let's get started. Alright everyone, so beginning with the 13 main horror icon villains, the ones that I decided to focus on, I'm going to start off in alphabetical order with Chucky. So Chucky came from Child's Play. There are multiple films within the franchise of Child's Play with Chucky, and the body count is estimated about 40. So that's 40 victims there.
I don't find Chucky scary. I find him like a cool character. I like watching his movies, but I don't really find him that scary like as other people might have seen him. But I saw him when I was a kid. My dad rented the movie, and I was kind of scared the first time I saw it. I was like really young, but as I got older and I re-saw the movies, I kind of sounded like a more like comedic character more than a scary character for me.
Yeah, actually, so my very first horror movie that I've ever remember seeing, was I was like 5 years old, and it was the first Child's Play movie, the first Chucky movie, and I thought that was scary as hell. I saw Bride of Chucky in theaters, and I didn't think it was scary. I mean, it has a lot of like horror elements, obviously, a lot of killings and murders and body count and all that stuff. But I thought it was like really funny. But I mean, I do like the character of Chucky. I mean, he's a pretty cool, interesting character, and it's cool to see,
Yeah.
As a movie, as a character.
I don't mind the comedic part of it. They take Chucky like really seriously. It probably wouldn't be like as good as it is now, but the fact that they know it's kind of funny and they add that part to his movies is pretty cool for me.
So moving on from Chucky, the next one in the alphabetical order of the 13 that I selected is the Creeper. And the Creeper first appeared in the movie Jeepers Creepers back in 2001. Right now there's only 2 films that I'm aware of. I think they're working on the 3rd Jeepers Creepers movie. I mean, when I saw the movie the first time, I thought it was an okay movie. It's low budget. I didn't think it was that scary. I mean, like I said, it was okay. the character was okay. I mean, he can fly and stuff like that. So with you, Jacob, I think you mentioned that you haven't even seen the movies at all.
I remember seeing, I don't know if it's the first or second one. There was like a scene with like a school bus,
Oh,
and then
that's the second one.
second one, I seen that scene when like we all like take off and start running. He starts chasing them, picking them off. I thought that was actually pretty cool. But as I've seen the whole movie, I haven't seen the whole thing. I've just seen like the ending of the second one and that scene,
Yeah.
and it does seem kind of interesting, but I haven't had a chance to see the whole thing.
Yeah, so it didn't really grab your interest too much that you actually were like, oh, actually, let me
Yeah. Well,
try and watch it
yeah, I
from
would
beginning
try
to
to watch
end.
it. If it's on, I'll watch it. I'll watch the whole thing if I get a chance.
So we'll move on to the next one. So after Chucky and the Creeper, now we have Freddy, who comes from the Nightmare on Elm Street films. He first appeared in 1984. It's a Wes Craven product. His body count is 41. The first time I saw this movie, I did think it was pretty scary. Freddy Krueger is, I think, definitely one of the main villains that you think of when you think of, horror. He has his what's it called, the knives for fingers or claws, whatever you want to call it. He was burned by the I think it was it was the parents, right?
The parents of the
parents,
the kids.
because the kids, I guess he was like a pedophile or something.
First, I think he killed them in the original.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. Because we have two versions of Freddy now. So we have the one that came out in 2010.
That was a child molester.
Yeah, that one was the child molester. And then the action movies, he killed them, right?
He killed them, yeah.
Or Freddy can only get you if you're asleep, so it's in your nightmares. But once you're in there, then he has unlimited sources to kill you. He can kill you basically any particular way that he can. He can turn into something, be whatever. His imagination could do whatever he wants. He toys with you, plays with you. I mean, everyone has to sleep, so even if you try to oh, well, I just won't fall asleep, Freddy can't kill me, you're going to fall asleep eventually. And you're going to fall asleep pretty fast. Jacob, what do you think about Freddy?
I just remember really enjoying Wes Craven because I've seen the Scream movies and I've seen some other stuff, but then this is the first one I saw that I really looked him up, and I heard like how he got the idea for it, and I just really enjoyed the movie even more after hearing about it.
Alright, so before we move on, I actually didn't give the body count for the Creeper. So the Creeper has a body count of 20 in just 2 films. So just adding that in there, but so that was the body count for the Creeper. And now we're moving on to Ghostface, and Ghostface appeared in the Scream movies, or the very first one came out in 1996. This is also another Wes Craven series, and basically Ghostface is just a regular person dressed up as Ghostface, and he goes and kills a bunch of people. Usually, it's mainly teenagers, usually say like in high school or in college or whatnot. So the body count for Ghostface, from what I found here, is 49. That seems kind of high, but I think they're considering the series because the Scream series has 4 films, and MTV started making this Ghostface Scream TV series, and I think at the time of this number, it included the first season. But Scream, as far as the movies themselves, they were very entertaining. I never thought they were really that scary, but it's more of a suspense, it's a thriller. They're very fun, and then what's more important about the Scream movies is to find out who is the killer. Jacob, thoughts about Ghostface?
Well, I just like how they play the horror movie the thing. So they'll know about all the horror movie cliches, and they'll kind of make jokes about it. Well, not to do any of these, but then sometimes they just do it. And the horror, sometimes it's a good guessing game, as you mentioned, trying to guess who the killer is, and sometimes it's obvious, and sometimes it just takes it by surprise.
You don't always really know who the killer is, which is probably what made these movies probably fun as well. So then that finishes the Ghostface aspect of that, and we're moving on to the next character. The next villain is Hannibal Lecter, and he's mostly known for the movie The Silence of the Lambs, but it's based on a novel. And there was another movie that came out before The Silence of the Lambs showed Hannibal Lecter, but it was played by some other actor. But the ones that we mostly recognize is the one played by Anthony Hopkins. The body count for Hannibal Lecter that I found online was 23. So I believe it's counting for all of the films, maybe the book. I don't know if there's any more than one book. I think they started a series too.
Yeah, I
I
heard
think.
about a TV series.
Yeah, so
So
I don't know if they're counting that as well, but we'll just say it's 23. That's the body count for Hannibal Lecter. And Hannibal Lecter is a little bit of a different type of villain. He's a cannibal. He eats people. Incredibly smart.
I've only seen Silence of the Lambs. I haven't read the book. I didn't know the book. I didn't see the other movie. I just seen Silence of the Lamb, and I haven't seen it in a while. But I do remember like kind of enjoying that character. I didn't know he was like a bad guy until like I thought they were focusing on like the Buffalo Bill guy or whatever.
Oh yeah, and the sons.
Yeah, but I kind of saw him as kind of like a good guy because he's trying to help him get him. Because everyone knows he's like a very intelligent guy, and at the end of the day, he gets away with it.
If you haven't seen the movie Red Dragon, that movie came out after The Silence of the Lambs. It's directed by Brett Ratner. It came out in 2002. I think I like that movie more than Silence of the Lambs. Anthony Hopkins is in that too, but it has Edward Norton as the main guy. And this movie is actually set before The Silence of the Lambs. Alright, so the next one is the Headless Horseman. And Headless Horseman appeared in books from, I think it was centuries ago. But the one that we are mostly, at least nowadays, recognize this character is from Tim Burton's Sleepy Hollow, which is a really good movie, by the way, if you haven't seen that. But as far as the Headless Horseman, the body count that I found online is about 25. The Headless Horseman has a lot of cool factor in it. I think he's a very interesting character. But Jacob, I think you mentioned that you haven't seen Sleepy Hollow. It came out like in 1999.
I haven't seen Sleepy Hollow. I haven't really read the book, but I know the story of it. So I kind of base them off of that, but I really don't have that much to say about them.
So the next horror icon villain is Jason Voorhees, and I think most people would recognize him. He is one of the faces of the horror genre. His body count is estimated at 146. His first appearance was in 1980 in the first Friday the 13th movie. So he actually doesn't really show up as a killer until the second Friday the 13th. And he doesn't even wear the mask, the hockey mask, until the third Friday the 13th. Yeah, so he had drowned in the lake, as everyone probably knows the story of Camp Crystal Lake with Jason Voorhees. And he just started killing a bunch of teenagers. I definitely wouldn't want to be caught in the same room with Jason Voorhees.
I remember I knew about Jason before I even seen the movies, and I saw my brother had like a poster of him or something, and I already knew he was like a killer. So I heard about the franchise, and I had like a VHS of Friday the 13th Part 1. So I watched it, I watched the whole thing, and I was looking for Jason, but I couldn't find him. To like the very end, it turned out the first killer was like the mom.
Spoiler alert, just so you people don't know.
That took me by surprise. I was looking for Jason, but I don't know, I was young. So then I started watching the other movies. And Jason definitely is like one of the strongest of the other icons.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's actually human during the first 3 or 4 movies, I believe, and then he becomes like a superhuman or he's like a walking zombie.
Yeah, he's supposed to be becoming like more powerful and like supernatural and all that shit.
Yeah, which I didn't mind.
So the next one is Jigsaw. Now, Jigsaw appeared first in the Saw movie that came out in 2004. Multiple films after that. I think they made, I think it was 7. I think they made 7 films.
Yeah.
And the remake or the reimagining or reboot comes out in a couple of weeks. So Jigsaw is a killer who pretty much collects you or kidnaps you and hides you in a room, puts a bunch of like traps, and you basically have to escape. And all these people he collects are bad people, according to what Jigsaw believes. So then there's a debate of whether Jigsaw is really a hero or an anti-hero. Is he really a villain? Because he does end up pretty much killing everyone who he traps. Definitely wouldn't want to be in one of his rooms trapped, because I highly doubt that I'll escape it. So, but then if you're not a bad person, you're not going to be in there, right? So there's that.
I definitely think he's a villain. I don't really see him as like an anti-hero because like I haven't really seen the whole movie. I just seen like the traps on YouTube and stuff.
You haven't seen any of the Saw movies?
Not completely. I just seen I pretty much seen all the traps. I just look them up and I find it interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And like I think he's a really cool character overall. But You know, he kidnaps like bad people, but not like they're not that bad to the extent where they deserve all that. And it's like it kind of like gives you anxiety when you're watching it. You know, seeing yourself in that position. I don't know. That's what I get. I get anxiety watching that shit.
Yeah. The first Saw movie was really good. Like I really liked it because it was fresh and new and like, oh shit, this is like something a little different. And it was kind of cool and interesting. But they started to make more movies. I think it was like once a year, and they just started getting worse and worse and worse and worse. The next character is Leatherface, and Leatherface first appeared in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Came out in 1974, and it's debatable, but it probably started the whole slasher or horror icon movies because Halloween came out like 4 years later, and Leatherface is pretty scary. He has some mental things going on with him.
Yeah,
right,
he's mentally ill.
and he uses a giant chainsaw, and he himself is a giant. And I think I asked you earlier if Leatherface is fast, and you say he is, right?
Yeah, he's really fast.
So with that alone, I mean, if you're stuck with Leatherface, you're pretty much done. The body count is 30, and actually Jigsaw has a body count of 60. So I actually forgot to mention that. So Jigsaw has a body count of 60. I did really enjoy Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the remake, the 2003 version. I know you really like that too.
Yeah.
So that was a really cool movie. But you have anything else to say about Leatherface and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Jacob?
I think besides from like Ghostface, I think he's like the only one that's like fully human. You know, no like supernatural thing.
It's more realistic.
More realistic. So I don't know. Whenever I see those movies, I can see like how that could actually happen. So for me, like that's like the scariest one I wouldn't want to like meet or not meet, but encounter in a way.
Yeah. All right. So the next one is Michael Myers from the Halloween film series. The body count is estimated at 110. There has been about I think it's like 10 movies. So
Yeah.
it's 10 films. So Michael Myers is I thought it was a really interesting character as well. At the beginning, he's more of a just like a human. He's not like Freddy turns out to be. The mask is really cool, really recognizable. He just uses a knife, pretty much. Sometimes he uses some other stuff, right?
Every now and then, like an axe.
Yeah,
On the
but his main signature choice of a killing weapon would be just like is it like a butcher knife?
A kitchen knife.
A kitchen knife.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then also actually, so we actually went to the house. I think it was like a couple weeks ago, the Michael Myers house, and I mean you can't go inside or anything like that, but it was cool to actually go, take a picture and be like, oh, this is the house where Michael Myers did all his terrorizing or whatever. It's fictional, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Jacob?
I don't really find the first Halloween like scary. But I find it really entertaining. But like I would still watch it.
Mm-hmm.
So the second Halloween is probably my favorite. But then like the first two of when they're full on human, he's a human being.
Yeah.
And the third one's not even the third one. No.
Oh, the Season of the Witch.
Yeah.
Michael Myers not even
Same
in that.
thing was
so.
on Friday. I watched it. And I couldn't find anything from Michael.
Yeah. So yeah, we're not talking about the Season of the Witch. How about the Rob Zombie?
I did enjoy the first one. I haven't seen Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 since it came out. I saw it in theaters with my dad. Pretty weird. But I didn't. I remember kind of enjoying it, but then at the same time, like not really enjoying it all that much.
Yeah, I like the remake, the first
remake
Rob Zombie remake
one.
of Halloween. The second one, I absolutely hated it. It's not just one of the worst horror films. It's just one of the worst films. Just period. Is there anything else you want to add to Mike Myers or the Halloween series, Jiggy?
Just pretty much, I can see why some people will like love the original and then hate Rob Zombie's first one because it's completely different. The original, you didn't know why he did it. He just kind of snapped one day and just did it. But then in Rob Zombie's, you see like he comes from a broken home.
The next horror icon villain is one character that first appeared decades ago in 1960, and that's Norman Bates. He appeared in Psycho. They did some other sequels. I think they did like 2 sequels of Psycho, which I didn't watch because they just look fucking lame. And I really like the first Psycho, and then they remade the original Psycho with Vince Vaughn, of all people. Vince Vaughn played Norman Bates. I like Norman Bates. He's a cool character. I know they made a series, Motel.
The
I
Bates
think.
Motel.
Bates Motel with that one kid from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and I guess he's like a doctor in some new show or something. So I've seen a couple episodes of that. It's not too bad, but I didn't finish watching it. But I do like the character. Psycho is one of my favorite horror movies. One of my favorite movies.
I've only seen the original movie, and that movie like I didn't get the ending. Like it took me by surprise. Like some movies are like really old. You already know what's gonna happen before you see it. I didn't hear anything about it, so I just watched it. I heard it was like really good movie. So
So people actually didn't spoil it.
I didn't get spoiled. So I was watching it. And I was like, the ending scared the shit out of me. It was like the mom.
Yeah, because
I really thought she was alive. I really saw spoiler. I thought the mom was actually the killer.
the next character is of course Pennywise, and Pennywise first appeared in the novel by Stephen King, like the TV series, the TV movie that came out in 1990 with Tim Curry. Then we saw Pennywise there. Obviously, he's a clown, and there's some weird entity going on. And then if you have read the book, apparently he is some kind of an alien of some sort. I think Pennywise is a really cool character as well. I think he's creepy. I've never been really afraid of clowns, so I wasn't like terrified by Pennywise, but there was a cool character. Reminding me kind of like of Freddy. That he feeds on your fears, except you're not actually asleep. So the body count with Pennywise, it's unknown because he's been around, according to the book, for centuries. So it's really hard to know what will be the body count for Pennywise.
I think Pennywise is like one of those really scary characters. I remember seeing him as a kid, like the Tim Curry version, and that one terrified me. And then like watching older, it's like not that scary. And I did enjoy Bill Skarsgård performance in the new It movie, but it just didn't really find him that scary. Just kind of like entertaining.
Yeah, so he doesn't fit the character. He does look creepy.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's like, holy shit, this is so fucking scary. Again, if you're terrified of clowns, then yeah, definitely he is your guy for damn sure. Okay, so the last horror villain icon is Pinhead from the Hellraiser films. I just recently saw the first movie of Hellraiser. The character seems like there's promise. Again, I've only seen the first one, but I am a little interested in seeing the character more. The first film didn't show too much of Pinhead. It wasn't really focused on him. Throughout the series, decided to focus more on Pinhead because he became more popular and people wanted to see more of him. He does look scary, he does look creepy, and he is also recognizable. That's why he's on that list, so people know about Pinhead. And I didn't really find it to be too scary. It's as far as cool factor, it's a cool character and all that stuff. I didn't think it was that scary.
Except parts of like one of the fourth one, he goes digital or whatever. I don't know, it was on Netflix.
I
watched it and I was like really bored. And I skipped forward, and I saw the Pinhead parts, and I was like, this is whack.
So Pinhead, okay character. Not really that interested in it.
Cool look though.
It's definitely a cool look. All right, so moving on, and actually we're gonna move on to our top three. Jacob, what is your number three?
My number three is Freddy Krueger. He's just such an iconic character, and I did some reading, and I heard that Wes Craven, when creating the character, he used the red and green stripes because like that color pattern, like together, that's just supposed to make you like feel uneasy.
Oh, okay.
And when I heard about that, and I started watching it, it's kind of true. It's an awesome character for me.
So my number three is Leatherface, and Leatherface because there's this element of realism in Leatherface. Like he could be somewhere around there in Texas with a fucking chainsaw and running after you and cutting you into whatever pieces he wants to cut for the day or whatever the hell. And he has some mental issues in him, so it's not like you're gonna rationalize. And he's fast.
Yeah, he's really fast.
And he will destroy you. So Leatherface, number three for me. So moving on to the number two. So, what is your number 2, Jacob?
My number 2 is actually Leatherface, and for me, it's just he's such a cool character because he doesn't really care. You know, you can't talk your way out of him. And one thing that really fascinates about me is like he won't just kill you. Like something would just hang you up and like cut parts of you off. Just so you're still like you could be alive for like months. He'd probably like, keep you alive somehow.
Yeah.
And he was just like he's crazy. You know, you probably wear you go with like your friends. You probably like kill one of your friends and wear his face.
So my number 2 is Freddy. Freddy Krueger, and that was your number 3.
That was my number 3.
Yeah, so that's my number 2. And Freddy is a cool character. He's creepy. He's entertaining. That's why I liked his films. Once you fall asleep, he can do whatever he wants. He can create anything. He can kill you in a particular way that he wants. You can't really escape him because he'll just reappear in front of you, or backwards, or on top of you, under you, whatever the hell. He will pretty much get you. So you're gonna fall asleep. So that's not way too. You can't fight that. You're gonna fall asleep. You're gonna die. Okay, so finally we're gonna move on to the number 1. So our number 1 top horror icon villain. Who is your number 1, Jacob?
For me, he's gonna be Michael Myers. I just grew up with watching Michael Myers movies, so you know, and he has like one of the coolest masks for me. You know, Jason's cool. Leatherface, you know, is really like creative using other people's faces, but for me, it's just that Captain Kirk mask, you know, modified and just turning into like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it's just really fascinating to me. And the score for Michael Myers, I think is like one of my favorite horror movie scores, except for like The Exorcist. That one's creepy as hell. You know, Michael Myers' score is probably one of my favorites.
So my number 1 is Jason Voorhees, and part of my choice for Jason to be number 1 is kind of what you said, because I grew up more with Jason, and as a little kid I actually had a Jason Voorhees mask myself, and I used that for so many years in my little videos that I used to make. I always have the little Jason mask. I mean, I liked the movies. I saw all of the Jason movies compared to some of the other horror icons I might not have seen. So it grabbed my interest enough for me to watch every single Jason movie, and I'm looking forward to another Friday the 13th movie. But we'll see what happens with that. We'll get a Michael Myers movie first before we see that. But Jason is recognizable. He has that hockey mask that everyone knows. He's scary, he's huge, he becomes more supernatural and more powerful, like super strength, and his movies are pretty entertaining, so that's why he's my number 1. So again, thank you again for watching, and subscribe so you can get the giveaway and so you can watch more videos in the future, and I'll see you guys next time.